Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise account. I'm Griffin Aldrich, and we got some breaking news. The Boston Celtics have drafted Dillon Mitchell with the 40th pick in the NBA draft. I love this move from Boston, and I was really excited when he was picked. This is a guy whose player comp is like a Derek Jones Jr., and after watching some film on him, this is a player who is very, very, very good on the defensive side of the ball and can bring that defensive intensity night in and night out. Saw some of his clips. Blocking wise, looks phenomenal. Great player. Here are some of his stats. He is 6'8". Plays the small forward position. His wingspan 6 foot 10 inches, 10.5, and then 202 pounds. Again, bulky player. Looks like an NBA player. Just from what I've seen, like Derek Jones Jr. is really a good comp to him. He can bring that defensive intensity. Stats wise, though, averaged 8.3 points at St. John's. And then in addition to that, 7 rebounds per game, and then shot 55.9% from the field goal and 3 assists per game as well. Very, very good player. I like this move for the Boston Celtics. Adding him on, I think the Celtics have had a really strong draft, and I love this move from them. Yeah, it's another forward, but in a sense, this is a guy who's going to bring you defense just like Ugo Gonzalez. Last year, picking Ugo was great defensively. Now you have another defensive presence that you could add in there. And this might be, I hate to say this, but this might be them moving off of Sam Hauser. This kind of feels like Sam Hauser's replacement. This is a guy who, brings defense and can also shoot the ball well. He's known for his defense, though, from what I saw. Very good on the defensive side of the ball. However, you draft Chris Sinak, now you add Dillon Mitchell, and I think 2 very good players and very great steals in the draft. I think being able to get a Chris Sinak at, the 27th pick was amazing. That's a guy that should have went early in the draft. And now you get Dillon Mitchell, a guy from St. John's who can really play some good basketball. I love this pick for the Celtics. It's going to be interesting to see what they do now this offseason, because you think maybe one of them will be a two-way player. Maybe we see Dillon Mitchell start the season in Maine on a two-way contract, or maybe we see cuts like Max Shulga and other guys like that to make room for Dillon Mitchell. But I think this is totally a project guy. He's 22 years old. I think they're going to develop him. This is different than Ugo last year. Ugo, was more of a ready player. He played very competitively overseas in Real Madrid. Now you add in a Dillon Mitchell who's 22, so he has some age and experience on him as well and played great in the NCAA tournament. But I think this is a guy that you kind of shape too, especially if you're going to hang on to Sam Hauser. I see them totally bringing him down and developing him. Same with Chris Sinak, though, to be honest. Chris Sinak, I see the Boston Celtics developing him quite a bit, more of a route of a Baylor Shireman rather than, like a Jordan Walsh who they kept in the G League a lot. But you might see that route as well. Chris Sinak is 19 or 20 years old. He's young. He's a young player. They're going to develop him a lot more. He could play the 5, and he's a stretch big, plays the 4 as well. They're going to have him be, I think, a competitor with Amari Williams, and that'll give Amari Williams more of an edge to him. It's just, this is the thing. You're going to have a competitive team. John Tonje, a two-way player as well. He's going to be fighting for a position. I think this training camp is going to be very intense because you have a lot of young guys trying to prove themselves and make a name and ultimately want to be on the main roster. So this offseason, we're going to see a lot of work from these players, and I'm excited to see it. And I think Dillon Mitchell is a guy who totally can be a winning piece on this Celtics team. you need defense, this is a guy that you can put in late in the game and bring you that much needed defensive push. So I love this pick for the Boston Celtics. And I'm going to give you guys more on him once I learn more and watch what he can do. But as of right now, this is a guy that I think you should totally take a flyer on. I think this was a steal on the draft. This is a guy who I'm banking on. I think he's going to do very well in Maine and in Boston. This is a guy that's going to prove himself quickly as, again, 22. So, still younger, not like 24 like you drafted Amari and Baylor the year before. Those were older players with more experience. This is a guy who, again, kind of going to be a project guy, as Bryce Hopkins, his teammate from St. John's, just got drafted by the Denver Nuggets. So another guy, a lot of St. John's players going in this draft. But again, great piece for the Boston Celtics. I love this move, and I think Brad Stevens has done a fantastic job this draft. I would have loved that they went for a guard in this pick, but again, another forward. This could be a guy who, like I said earlier in this, can potentially take Sam Hauser's spot. But I'm going to pull up some clips from him really quick so you guys can see a little bit more about him.
And jammed. Wow. Nope, they'll walk it back. It will not count.
Well, and he is a great defender. You've got to count that basket.
Look at his year. It is absurd what he's done.
The Big East Player of the Year.
Wow. How about that defense? Then he gets the loose ball, and he triggers it out to Mitchell.
They come here. I don't know which one of them gets credit for that.
To the hole, knocked away, rejected by Mitchell on the shot by Smith, and Mitchell's got a couple blocks.
So, see, defensively, he's great. He's also a player that could really get to the rim. I love this player for the Celtics. I didn't show any Chris Sinnat videos or clips yesterday, but you guys could search those up. But again, great player that the Boston Celtics chose right here. I think this is a great pick. You add him in here with the mix with Chris Sinnat, and I love this. You see from those clips, just defensively, he's tough. He's aggressive. He's going to give you everything he got on the defensive side of the ball. I'm very excited to bring him to Boston, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you guys happy with this pick? Do you think we should have picked anyone else? Again, I'm still a little confused why we didn't go guard here, but another forward. This is a forward who primarily plays the small forward position. I love this move for Boston, but with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications to be notified every time we upload. I will see you guys with the next one. Peace, you guys.